This girlfriend was probably the highlight of my love life at the time. I mean, she was number one in terms of my past relationships at that time. She worked for Samsung Electronics and I met her on Tinder. Let's refer to this girl as the Samsung girl. So we'd been chatting on Tinder for a couple of weeks, just on a friendly basis. We did not even talk about meeting up until this one early Saturday afternoon. Now we met on a Saturday. On the Saturday that we met, coincidentally, I had just finished a coffee date at Starbucks with a nice Korean girl. Let's refer to this girl as the TV girl because she worked for a big TV network. I did like her a lot. She did have 2 kids. Coincidentally, again, this TV girl, I met her on Tinder, but she was a friend of an ex-girlfriend of mine. So that was sort of just coincidental. The date we did have, I was very impressed. I did like her a lot. I knew her deal. She had 2 kids. She was separated, but I did like her. But as this date ended, and it was a very conservative date, and I knew that getting into it, and I respected that. The date ended, and I just went back on Tinder because she had something to do. She had to go, and I already knew that when we started the date. She just had an hour for me. And I went back on Tinder. Who was there? It was the Samsung girl. She was also on Tinder, and I just said hi, and right away, she said hi back to me. So when the TV girl date ended at Starbucks, we parted ways. I'm talking to the Samsung girl via chat, and I just say right away, hey, I'm free. You want to meet up? She said yes. It was down. The stars aligned. It was just meant to be. The Samsung girl had just finished a night of partying with her friends, and she later admitted she was looking for a boyfriend that night, but did not find a suitable match. So her and her friends, they all ended up in a motel. There was several of them. I'm going to assume there was 6 or 7 of them, all staying in one motel room for the night. So anyway, her and I get to chatting. I just said, let's meet up for a coffee. I'll head out to Hongdae, the area of Seoul where she was at the time. And so Hongdae is sort of a university party district in Seoul. So at the time, it is about noon because the TV girl date was about 11 a.m. till noon. So anyway, the Samsung girl said okay, and I got the subway out to Hongdae to meet her. So if you know the Seoul subway stations, specifically we met up at Hapjeong Station. So Hapjeong Station is just 2 stations away from the very popular Hongdae station. Probably Hongdae and Gangnam are the busiest stations in Seoul. We met face to face. It was good. Here you can see on Google Maps. This is the station where we met, and I was sitting down here at the corner store. They got tables outside. I was sitting at this table here, and I waited for her for only about 5 minutes. She showed up. She sat down. We were talking for about 1 minute, and we started to go for a walk. We were going to go for a coffee shop. So here is the route that we walked. We walked up this road here. We took a right turn down this road to see what was down here, and we came across this nice little resto bar. It was the first time I'd ever seen this resto bar, but I've been a regular here ever since. This was about 4 years ago. 5 years ago. So we are inside, and we were sitting at this exact table here. It's hard to see through the glass, but we were sitting right there next to the door. So anyway, we get talking. We're going to order something. I said to her, look, I've already had a coffee. You mind if I get a beer? And she said, yeah, me too. I thought, that's cool. I don't want to sit here having a beer while she's having a coffee. So I thought, that's cool. We're both down for a beer. So later, I would find out that she is actually a major alcoholic. But at the time, the conversation was very pleasant. She admitted to me that she didn't like my picture on Tinder. That's why she wasn't eager to meet me. But she said it's better in person. So she was full of compliments, so it was nice to be around her. She was pretty open about what she talked about. She was talking to me about her ex-Tinder dates, so that was pretty cool. It's not usually something a girl will be open about talking about. So she had no problem saying the word sex on the first date. That caught me off guard, but it was good. I mean, I'm open-minded and she was open-minded, so we were going on the right track here. So anyway, she's telling me stories like, I really like this particular guy, but I found out that he was just using me for sex, so I broke up with him. Another guy, I found out on Facebook that he was married, so I ghosted him. She was telling me these kinds of stories. It was kind of a turnoff. It was just like guy after guy she was telling me about. But at the same time, I did respect her open mind. She was very laid back, very cool, quite engaging. She didn't speak the best English, but we had a great conversation. I did respect her open-mindedness very much. The whole day, we went from bar to bar. I mean, just the whole day. From one bar, we'd get a beer or two, go to another bar. The whole day, we were just drinking. So anyway, by 8 p.m., we decided to go back to my place. And we did. We took the 1-hour trip from Hongdae back to my apartment. We went upstairs, almost instantly started going at it. I mean, we walked into my apartment, lay down on the bed because I just had a small place. Just started going at it. So this was the beginning of a 3-month, very passionate love affair. I mean, both physical and emotional. I mean, this girl had 2 loves. She loved sex and she loved alcohol. If she starts drinking, she can't stop, basically until she's unconscious. Regarding sex, it was kind of similar. She just wanted it all the time. On a more personal note, she did have the most sensitive nips on planet Earth. I mean, just touch her nips with your tongue and she just went berserk. Now this girl, I mean, she needed dick, okay? Let's just put it that way. She could not live without the D. She lost her virginity in high school. I'm not joking. She must have been 16 or 17 at the time. She was 25 when I met her. But she lost her virginity to her high school teacher. I'm not joking. She lost her virginity to her high school teacher. And I wish I knew more details on the topic. Like, I wonder if this high school teacher is just making a habit out of banging his students. I know it does happen a lot here. There's a lot of troubled girls here because of the study, environment. A lot of girls just can't take it. A lot of people can't take it. There's a lot of suicides. A lot of girls, they just give up. They go into prostitution. There's a lot of that there. They just take studying way too seriously here. Actually, it was this high school teacher that got her the job at Samsung because she did not even finish university. So how she got a job at the very competitive Samsung? Obviously, this guy knew someone and he pulled some strings for her to get that job. Anyway, back to the story. My mind was just consumed with this girl all the time. And it wasn't even about the sex. The reason I was so into her was just I had not met anyone like her before. She was just the coolest girl I'd ever met in my life. I mean, I was thinking, why does she like me? I'm not as cool as her. I mean, she is just cool. She's sort of a badass. I mean, I just really dig this girl. She's very different than other girls. Our relationship was, over the 3 months we were together, our relationship was her coming to my house on Friday after work. We'd go to a bar. We'd go to another bar. We'd get some ramen or whatever. And then go back to my place and we'd Netflix and chill for the entire weekend. Her parents would be calling her about 5 times over the weekend, making sure she's safe. This happened all the time. They knew she was with her boyfriend. It's very common for kids, 25 years old even, to be living with the parents. I did wonder how her dad felt knowing her daughter was being banged by some older white guy. It wasn't my problem, so I guess he was bothered by it, but he trusted his daughter to do the right thing. So this was the regular scene for a few months. It was Monday to Friday, work. Girlfriend got the bus to my house Friday night. Sunday, 8 p.m. She'd be out of there, heading back home. Then one day we were chatting on the Korean version of WhatsApp. I just asked her a question because she never wanted to pay for anything. And this girl, she made more money than I did. I asked her why she never pays for anything. What happened was, she just immediately dumped me. She said, I can't see you anymore. And it happened right when I asked her that question. And I was totally heartbroken. I couldn't even focus on my work. And I kept saying to myself how stupid I was for saying that. And I like a simp, I was messaging her, saying, I'm sorry, just forget I said it. But she was gone. That's just how she was. She had made up her mind and she was committed to dumping the hell out of Scotty Boy. This girl meant a hell of a lot more to me than the money that I spent on her. So I really regretted saying anything I said. Why the hell did I say something? But she quit me cold turkey. I was hurt. I was devastated. That was the first time I'd ever been hurt. Before, I'd broken up with, and I forgot about her an hour later. I just couldn't have cared less. I was happy to have my freedom back. But with her, I didn't want my freedom back. It was, 3 months. Hey, I was thinking marriage with this girl. She was just like all consuming for me. I was so desperate to get her back that I even went to her subway station that I knew she lived near. I didn't know where her house was, where her building was, her apartment building. But I knew the station she lived nearest to. In Seoul, a lot of people live near a subway station. It's very common. So I went to her subway station that I knew she lived near and just walked around looking for her. This is how consumed I was by her. It really felt pain. It sounds bad, I know. And again, looking back, stupid me, just like Annabelle, stupid me. And then time went by, the pain sort of went away, subsided, and I got back to my normal life. Then 2 months goes by. I pretty much gotten over her. So one Saturday evening, I was laying in bed watching YouTube, just out of the blue. She messages me, totally out of the blue. I was shocked. She was at a nightclub nearby my apartment. It was about 11 p.m. She asked if she could sleep at my place. That was her text message. Actually, her text message was, would you mind if ... And I knew what she was saying. I said, yes, come on over. And then she says, you didn't even know what I was going to ask. But I knew she was asking to come over. I said, of course you can. She said she'll be here in 20 minutes. So she was getting a taxi. So after about 15 minutes, I got the elevator downstairs. I walked outside and there she is in front of the building. It was kind of a strange feeling to see her again. This is what I wanted so badly for seemingly a long time, although it was only a couple months. But there she was, face to face with the Samsung girl again. So the first thing I did, I asked her if she has work tomorrow. And she said yes. And I knew she was already on thin ice with her boss for being late for work many times. Probably, if she's late again, that would probably be her last time she'd get the axe. Because this is what she does. She just parties and drinks all the time, and she has to wake up early for work, even on Saturday. Oh, even on Sunday. She has to work half days on Sundays. I think every other Sunday. But that's typical for Samsung. That's why a lot of people quit Samsung. They just work you to death. So I wanted to talk to her. So I suggested we get one more beer just across the street, because in Korea, there are bars everywhere. There are bars, multiple bars on every single street. So of course, she never says no to a beer. So we went there. We went to the bar, and we've been to this bar many times before. So when we were there, I never told her how much I missed her over the time we had broken up. And I didn't bring up the reason why, or I didn't bring up that, I was there searching for her. We finished our beer and we headed back to my place. So on the way back, she is beyond wasted. Beyond wasted. Typical for her. Anyway, we do go back to my place. We end up in the sack, going at it. She just falls asleep halfway through. I know, it doesn't make me look very great telling you she fell asleep halfway through, but that's what she did. So she sleeps, and I just kept going. The next morning, she was late for work, and I think she did get fired, although I don't know, because that was the very last time I talked to her. Just to give an update, she did get fired from Samsung. I don't know if it was that night, but she did eventually, which is too bad, because her dream was to get pregnant, get married, get pregnant, because Samsung gives 3 years full pay to employees who get pregnant. But just an update on her, it's very vague because I just don't know the details, but I do know she's living overseas because I've seen pictures of her. Oh, she's living overseas somewhere with palm trees. Of course, she's not talking to me anymore. That's the end of the Samsung girl.